So today I'm joined by James Rose, co-founder of Content Snare. James, thanks for joining. For people listening who might not know you yet, could you give a quick intro to who you are and what you focus on these days?
Yeah, well, Bianca, honored to be here. Thank you. I'm the founder of Content Snare, like you said. I mean, that's really my identity now is basically Content Snare. So we're a product for getting information from clients, instead of chasing people over, many weeks or months just to get a few questions answered or a few documents sent. We help solve that problem, which is, across client onboarding and queries and compliance, end of year work papers, whatever. We help people get information. My role there is essentially, well, founder slash CEO, as much as I hate that title. Um, Mostly across sort of marketing and sales and I guess operations. I have a business partner who handles most of the development, so that's kind of my role.
Awesome. So I want to talk less about the software today and more about the
Mhm.
patterns you see because you're constantly talking to firms, right? Um, so from your vantage point, what's the most common pattern you see when firms struggle to get information from clients?
Um, Probably say lack of systems. There are lots of ways to I think it's one of these problems that people don't expect to have to deal with. It's like I ask someone for stuff, they should just send it to me. The problem is people are people. Clients are people, and they will forget. They're busy. They will have 1,000 emails arriving in their inbox every day, and they just like they don't they like it's not like they're malicious and being like, I'm not going to send this stuff. It's just like they forgot. That email got buried, so you have to do it again. But then then it can feel like you're hounding the client if you're sending them emails and reminders all the time, and no one wants to feel like the bad guy in this relationship. um but you have to get the information that you need, right? So um, I think that, so they don't want to feel like a bad guy, so they'll avoid doing it. But really, the system should be like, you can have something really simple in place where it's like every Friday at this time, we look through the stuff we're waiting on and we send a reminder about it, and it's just, there's no ifs or buts. It's just you send the reminders because you have to. Um, I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If I was to say a number two, it's that they haven't made it easy enough for the client to give them that information. And that is a huge topic in itself. And I don't know if we dig into that separately, but
Yeah.
that means like giving them a nice, easy way to send you that information, because like to track what they've done. Like if they're just looking at an email, I don't know. Do you want me to sort of keep rambling on about this? Because I could
Go
for
ahead.
days.
This, go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Because I mean, like that's the other thing is you send someone an email with like 10 things you need, and then they've replied with like five, and two of those are the wrong thing, and you've gone back and forth, and now you're 10 emails deep, and they're like, shit, I don't even know what I have sent. So they're probably sending the wrong things because they don't even understand what's required. So giving them a really nice way to give you the information, really clear, spelling out exactly what you need. So like this
The
document, this is
clarity.
what it should look like. Yeah. And a clear checklist as well, so they can easily see what's still outstanding, right? And the Content Snare is not the only way to do this spreadsheet, because it's like a live updating spreadsheet where they can tick things off or whatever, or say like I've uploaded that file. Yeah, so that's kind of the core
Yeah. I think what
reasons.
always strikes me is how normalized that chaos has become. Like people just accept as
Crazy.
it is part of the job.
That exactly. It's like it's funny because that's actually one of our biggest problems. I think a lot of people don't realize there's a solution to this issue, and so they go about their day, and it's like they'll be like, oh my
Normal,
god,
just
client.
normalize it.
They'll never even look for a solution until it's
Yeah.
like thrown in front of them, because they're like, that's just a thing. That's just what, you got to chase people for stuff.
Yeah. So, like, if we strip away the emails and reminders, what do you think is actually broken
What's
underneath
broken? Um, as in the why the clients won't do it, or what's broken in the processes?
in the processes? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think it's pretty much what I outlined, is that it's not easy
Yeah.
enough. It's got to like, there's got to be no mental processing for the clients, or obviously there's going to be some, but has to be as little as possible,
Yeah.
because if a client perceives something to be a big, difficult task, or it's going to require mental load to work out, and they're busy at the time they see your request, they're going to go, nah, I have something else to do, right? And then that email, they'll forget about it, email gets buried. That's, I honestly think the biggest thing by far is it's not easy enough for the client.
Yeah.
If I had to put it in
It's the
one sentence.
processes behind it, right? It's not really clear. Yeah, that resonates a lot. I think in project work, if a process only exists in someone's head, it's basically invisible. And
Yeah.
invisible things can't scale, really.
Well, like, and what's stuff that's in people's head? That's a really good point, but because like it still all comes under the banner of making things easy for clients. But an example of that is like you as an accountant, for example, know what you want. You know what this document that the client needs to send you looks like. Does the client, like, you've been doing this for, let's say, 10 years. Some people more. Like, it could be 30. You've been an accountant for 30 years, and you're asking a client to send a I don't know, what's an example? Like I don't know, stock, your share trading statement, whatever. And they're like, look, where do I find that? Like, where do I click? What do I do? Like, you need to explain this stuff to them because it's in your head and it's hidden to them. They don't have the incredible experience you have in this industry. They call this the curse of knowledge. It's when you know something so well, you can't imagine someone else not knowing it. And that is actually really hard to overcome. Like, if you've got to sort of walk through the exact process, every word you're asking in like a question that send me this thing or answer this question, it's like every word in that, it's like, is that something do they know what that is? How can I explain it better?
Yeah, I think it needs someone to surgically go there and extract all the knowledge from someone and map it out, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, I feel like AI, this is something AI is probably going to be okay to help. Like, it's a good use case for AI is to, like, imagine I've asked these questions to my client. Imagine they know nothing about accounting. Like, where are some things that they might not understand? Like, I feel like AI I haven't done that personally, but
Yeah.
that's definitely something I would throw through an LLM to see what it comes up with.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch this. So something you said earlier really stuck with me. That accountants want more hand holding, what the like people expect. So what do you think they're actually looking for in that moment?
That's a good question. It's funny. I had that exact conversation just before this one with you as well. So for context there, because I think that was an offline discussion, wasn't it? Yeah. So for context, it was that we've noticed coming into the accounting industry, because originally our product was not built for accountants, and then we worked out accountants were getting a lot of value from our product, and rest is history. But yeah, the amount of one-on-one attention, or at least that's the demand. I guess the demand is the right word. Like, people want more one-on-one attention from our team to walk them through setting up the product and whatever. I think there's a lot of things going on and why that's the case. I think accountants have been slapped with a lot of complicated software in the past and just assume everything is complicated or hard to implement. It doesn't always have to be the case. We've had people like sit on Content Snare for 18 months and then go, oh my God, like, I've finally jumped in there and set it up, and it was so much
Wow.
easier than I thought, right? Like, but they didn't action
Yeah.
it for 18 months because they thought it was going to be hard. They thought it was going to be hard.
Yeah, that's
It's
painful.
That's insane. Oh, look, it is what it is. I don't mind,
Yeah.
but it's just crazy to kneecap your own business because of something
Yeah.
that's in your head. I am 100% guilty of this, right? Like, I've done this before where I've been like, oh, I've got this thing I need to do and it's going to take so long. And so I put it off and I put it off and I eventually do it. I'm like, nah, you idiot. Like, that was so easy. I think sometimes you just got to put some time aside to jump into things.
And it might
I
be the
don't know.
issue as well, time, right? Like they're so busy with this back and
Accountants.
forth, client
Yeah.
chasing and all that,
I mean, yeah. And just the actual work of doing
Yeah.
accounting stuff. Accountants are some of the busiest people I've ever met. So if there is the possibility of shortcutting the time to set up by speaking to someone, I get it. Like, why go and send 5 emails back and forward with a support team to clarify things each time when I could just get on a call and get the answers. It is interesting though that accountants are more like this than other industries we've dealt with. The other one is onboarding. Like accountants seem to be very, I don't know if it's just because it's normalized, but paying for onboarding, paying for higher service levels to help
Definitely
them set things
normalized.
up faster. Crazy, man. Like we were always built as a self-service product with no paid onboarding. And then we added sort of customer success to help people. So we've got someone there that can walk people through getting started. And it was always just included. But we're getting to a point where it just can't be included because it's too expensive. And I was speaking to accountant friends of mine, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so like I paid for this onboarding service in this tool. It cost this much, and here's what I got." And this was like $2,000 or something. And I was like, "That's exactly what we're doing now for free, right?" Like I was like, "This is crazy." Like, yeah. So I don't know. It's but people were happy to pay it. So there's something going on in this industry that
Yeah.
is just different than what
Yeah.
I'm used to.
Yeah, I think client onboarding like is fairly templated, right? And the end of the work, ongoing compliance questions aren't. So I think that's the pain as well. So where do you see firms struggle? Like once work stops being predictable?
So specifically with getting information when it's not a template. Yeah, I think this comes back to busyness as well. So if you have, you're doing a work paper and you've got like 5 queries, you need a couple of bank statements, you need some things. A lot of people will just send that as an email. They'll slap it together in an email because they're so busy. They don't have the time to explain things. They don't have the time, or they think they don't have the time to put that in another system. Like we've got people who use Content Snare and then will send bespoke queries via email and then regret it immediately because it turns into this like, chasing cats type scenario. And again, it was just because it's busy. It's easier for me to send this email right now. I don't have time. I need this, bang, off. So that is a big struggle. It's hard to sort of foresee that, but if I spend a little bit longer now, when I'm busy right now, I don't want to spend an extra 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it is, now because I'm so busy. Even though that's going to take like an hour longer later, I don't think humans are wired like that. it's so,
Definitely.
yeah. So that's the struggle.
Yeah. So I think that this is usually where I see people abandon systems as well entirely. And instead of tightening the system, they abandon, and just go for what they know already. Interesting.
And we talk about this as if like it sounds like we've got our shit sorted, but I do this all the time. Like I will shortcut something, not like a really example that bites us so hard is specifying a new feature for Content Snare. It's like we want
Yeah,
this new feature and we want it to do this, and we write down what we think it should do and we rush it and we don't do it fast enough, and then someone builds it and it's like, but what about this and this and this and this and this? And that was just all in my head and I didn't get it down on paper, right? Like
excellent.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. And that can waste
Humans. I think it's
weeks,
a
man.
human thing, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to, got in my head as well, also in our offline conversation, you mentioned like how gated some of the core tools are, especially like around integrations. So how much do those limitations actually cap what firms can realistically automate?
I mean, it depends. I think this was probably in relation to the zero API changes. That's obviously new. Then I wouldn't say, so there's always been a level of gating on zero in some ways in like API limits and XPM requires like a security certification, which I understand. Like it's when you've got access to the full client list of an accounting firm, you kind of need to make sure you're secure. And then obviously the costs that are coming in. That's not new. I think QuickBooks did this 6 months ago. Well, or more. I don't know how long ago it was now. I, I don't. It's a strange. To me, it's a strange decision. Like, it's almost like it does put like a slight handicap on people's willingness to integrate. Like, if you're a startup now and you need to integrate, like you're brand new, and you're working with accountants and you need to integrate with XPM, that's going to cost you like a lot, like a high percentage of your revenue. So maybe, no, I have to question, is it like they don't want to deal with so many new entrants and new products anymore because it's a huge ecosystem. So maybe they don't
Yeah.
want anymore. They're like, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. They're like trying to disincentivize more people to build. That could be a genuine reason to do this.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's funny because like to me for Zero specifically, I think the entire uh, I always talk about Australia being quite ahead of the Australian accounting industry being quite ahead of other countries from a tech forwardness perspective. Like they're way more open to using new apps and whatever. And I think that is literally the ecosystem that Xero have developed. And because it's so open and easy and everything talks back to Xero, and that makes Xero stronger, in my opinion. And I don't know. So, but maybe it's just become too hard to manage, or maybe they think, oh, we've done all this work and it's time to monetize it. But I just don't think there's that much money in it. Maybe I'm just
Yeah.
bad at maths or something. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, I
because
think it's
like
ironic,
others,
right? Yeah.
I've spoken to another large app that I don't want to say, like another accounting app that said they're probably going to do the same thing. And I was like, what? Like, someone I think it's QuickBooks' fault for normalizing this or something, and now everyone's decided, yeah, we're going to charge for API access. Like
Yeah, that's a
it
pain
seems to be
because
against the entire point of APIs to me, but I don't know.
no, same. Yeah, I think it's ironic because firms are told to automate, right? And then, but the infrastructure doesn't always want them to, right? Like it creates a lot of friction.
And of course, these costs are going to get passed on to the accountant customer anyway,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
it's just that now
exactly.
it's a cost of operating that has to get passed on.
So let's say if a 10 to a 30-person firm is listening to this and recognizing themselves, what's the first thing they should actually fix in your point of view, and what should they ignore for now?
Um, I think this is a hard question because I was going to say client onboarding because I think that's just an easy place to start and it often is very templated. It's like, here are all the questions that all the things we need a client to do when they first start working with us. We need them to, give us access to XYZ or like hand the Xero subscription to us or get us read-only access to their bank. Or I don't know, like some people do that, some people don't. We need the previous documentation, like actually just writing all that down. I like client onboarding as an example because it's usually fairly processable. It's kind of hard to go like, what's our process for um, bespoke queries when that's different every time. It's kind of hard to sort of sit
Yeah,
down when you're not in the weeds with that right now. I think you can start with creating a good system for your onboarding or just any
reporting.
like standard checklist, like an ITR, individual tax return, income tax return could be a good one as well, because generally they will have like a series of similar questions that you have to ask people every year. Like, did you make income? Did you sell any shares? Did you have a rental property? Obviously, Content Snare has templates for that, but if you're not using Content Snare, just like writing down the full list of questions in a system that's easy and making it easy for clients. And like putting this all in a 20-page PDF is not an easy system for clients. Like that's horrible. No client wants to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like, so step one is write it, like try to create the list. Step two
easiest.
is go over it as a client and try to find all the things that they're not going to understand and spell it out for them.
Yeah, that sounds like the easiest way, right? In which is actually like, what do you think they should ignore for now? Like in this, if they are growing and they want to automate things.
Oh, that is, I don't know. I, this is going to sound bad given the way everything's currently going, but almost AI. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think you should ignore AI. That's bad advice, but you should ignore the hype around AI. It's like, I think everyone
100%.
feels like they're going to get left behind and that they need to be trying a new tool every week. I honestly think that the way AI is going to play out is it's going to converge into the tools, right? Like, um, there was one point there, like everyone was like, you need to learn prompt engineering and you need to know exactly how to talk to these LLMs and you got to say all these weird words and put these things in to get the LLM. But like, you can get like 95% of the results by going, hey bro, can you fix this thing for me? And pasting it in, right? Like it's, so that whole prompt engineering thing, it's almost already not a thing,
Yeah.
um, for most people. So I do think that's the way AI is going to go. It's going to be implemented into tools somewhat more seamlessly, and it's not something that people need to be like actively looking at every week. And how can I implement this new tool that's going to disappear in 3 months? Yeah. So ignore the hype around AI.
100%. I love the answer because it, pulls people away from chasing shiny tools and back, to boring fundamentals. I think which is usually where the leverage is. I think you need to use like good tools around your workflow, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Use tools and work with the tools. You need to put the tools to work for you in your
And especially
workflow. So
not
I
if
love
you're
that.
busy. If you're really busy,
Exactly.
like an accountant is, I do think that a lot of the hype I see on AI are people who clearly have too much time and not doing any real work. So they're just playing around with stuff and then like hyping it up. Or people who sell AI, like they either set things up for people or uh course on AI. Like that
Yeah,
seems to be where the hype comes from. Everyone I know
exactly.
who's running a like an actual business, doing good shit, is not sitting there playing with tools. But those people do feel like that, like there's a FOMO shiny object kind of thing in the
Yeah,
background that you just kind of need to suppress a little bit.
yeah. 100% agree. Yeah, it's funny to say because I work with AI, but I'm not the tool person. I'm more about the workflow. I want to improve the workflow, uh, you know, to work better. Use the right
Of
tools,
course,
not the hype. Yeah,
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 and I
totally
mean,
agree.
like we use a bunch of AI and within workflows, right?
Yeah,
Like really defines workflows, and it's like this is the part that AI has to play here, and that's totally fine. And honestly, that hasn't changed much to me in the last 6 to 12 months. Like everyone's talking about how much AI has like blown up and gotten better. Yes, it has, but it's just improved those pieces of our workflow. It hasn't like it's not like it's doing extra work for me now. Maybe little bits here and there, but like yeah, it's just as part of a workflow, it's still very strong.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, that's such a good reminder that no, everything needs to be automated to be improved as well. Yeah, fantastic. So, what are your, have any big plans for Content Snare, the near future?
Yeah, well, it's funny. Good time to ask that because like I spent most of last week working on strategy and positioning for the next 12 months, and I think what we want to be is like the way I've even got a sentence written down somewhere. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's the gist is it's being like an operating system for client workflows, like being the way serious firms interact with their clients, whether that's like getting files, receiving files, sorry, giving files, receiving files, you know, answering questions. There's a lot of ways we can go here. And that's what that's what I think where we need to be long term. That's the big plan. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, uh, and it's still there's a lot of things we need to work out, but that's kind of the grand vision.
Amazing. Love that. For anyone listening who wants to follow your work or learn more, where's the best place to find you?
Probably just LinkedIn, James Rose. It's got like a pinky purple background. You'll see me there. Obviously, contentsnare.com is the place to find out about the product. But if you want to see just ridiculous crap that I post on LinkedIn with the occasional
That's
helpful post,
amazing.
with the occasional helpful
Now is
post
the
that doesn't get
oi.
any reach. Yeah, I'm gonna be the guy that says "oi." That's obviously
I
today.
love
That was
that. I love
yesterday's joke post. Yeah, I think my LinkedIn is about I don't know 80% jokes and just what's going on in life, and 20% helpful stuff, because every time I post something helpful, it gets no reach.
I mean, but that's the good thing, I think, is getting more personal as well and more, authentic.
Yeah.
Love that.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, James. I really appreciate how grounded, honest this conversation was. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you very much. It was awesome.